9 a.m. Oops, sorry. Good, I'll start over. Good morning. Welcome to the Affordable Housing Advisory Board hybrid meeting, Monday, August 9th at 9 a.m. We are meeting on the 26th floor of the county center. We have several members in the boardroom and several members that are also online joining us in this hybrid meeting. With that, we're going to need the clerk to actually do a roll call vote. And if we have a quorum, should we vote on anything, we'll also need to do a roll call for attendance and then a roll call vote should we choose to have any motions made and a vote necessary. So with that, I'd like to start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you have the ability to stand, please do so, and we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty, justice for all. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Overman.
Here.
Rosenwasser.
Here.
Burton. Here. Abel. Here. Powell. Here. Lott. Myers.
Here.
Goods. Combs. Hollis. O'Donnelly. Nieves. Strom. I see Chrissy on the line, I just don't hear her.
Thank you. Ms. Takamori, we need how many people in the room for a quorum?
We need 6 members present in person for a quorum.
Okay, well, we're not quite there. So we're going to have to make recommendations or take information regarding consensus, but we won't be able to vote on any motions that are made today. And I do have a note from Ms. Jackson Sims indicating that she was not able to attend today and she has an excused absence. All those other folks, not so much. So it's really important. We're doing great work here, and affordable housing is at a critical stage in Hillsborough County. So I'm going to ask each of our board members who may be watching this at a later date to please do what they can to attend our meetings because we have much work to do. Given that we don't have a quorum in person, we're unable to approve the minutes for June 14th, June 12th, and July 12th, the regular meeting, of which I need to apologize for not being able to attend that meeting. But I will bring that. Okay, we got a echo here. But I will bring that to the next meeting for our approval at that time. That leads us to the next item. Is it the?
Councilman Goods.
Just one moment.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. You may have extension. We're getting feedback from the sessions. Do you have your speakers turned on another device?
I don't have any other devices on.
So we can hear. We can hear the audio. Councilman Goods. That's why there's an echo.
Councilman Goods, we just muted you. I'm not sure if you have any speakers on in the room or anything like that, or you can put on headphones. Our other solution would just be to keep muted unless you need to speak.
We'll stay muted, no problem.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Technology is always fun, but thank you for joining us. It's my understanding, I sort of skipped over public comment because I had information that indicated we had not anyone called in for public comment. Is that accurate?
That's correct, Commissioner.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Madam Chairman, I would like to share that I received 2 calls from members of Hope last month.
Okay, I'm going to recognize you, Mr. Rosenwasser.
I'm sorry.
Go right ahead.
That the time reflected on the county schedule for this meeting was at, I believe she said both of them said 1 o'clock. And as a result, they weren't able to follow the meeting. So just wanted to share that comment that I got.
Thank you. I had not caught that, but we need to check with communications and our online calendar just to make sure that our meetings are advertised at the proper time. It all, it's on the website, but then in terms of the page, but then it also is on the county calendar. So when there's an inconsistency, it can oftentimes cause some confusion. We're not the only board that seems to have that problem, so I appreciate the heads up, and we'll do what we can to correct that so that they can participate in our public comment when they choose to. In addition to that, all the meetings do have an information where you can log on and sign up to speak, and when you do that, typically that lets you know exactly when the meeting is, and you get an email that confirms what time it is. So that's another way that you can double check to make sure you can participate. Ms. Burton, you're recognized.
Yes, good morning. I just want to say, the process is there, of course. Okay, yes, ma'am. So, the process of how people are able to communicate with this board, is like a two-prong, dial in, wait on an email, then response. And I understand, because of COVID, we can't have the public, but I would just like to say, because we might not necessarily hear from the public in our own little spaces, people are always constantly asking about what is affordable housing doing, what is the county doing? And so if we're not hearing from the people collectively, I know we are not assuming that the people are not concerned, because the people are laser focused on how this board and other boards is going to help solve the problems of homelessness, affordability, and on and on. So I just want to say, even though we might not hear them, I'm hearing them all the time. I'm quite sure all of us are hearing them all the time, that the people are very, very concerned about what this board is doing. Thank you.
I couldn't agree more. What we may need to do a little bit, I know I get some emails. We may need to forward them to the Affordable Housing Department so that those are entered into the record. The form stack on the website frequently, where they write to not only us but also to departments, is another good way to have something submitted into the record for public comment. So if you're not able to attend or don't want to call in, that's another way to do that. So, and I encourage folks to participate in that way when they're unable to actually physically attend or sign up to be online virtually to listen. There's also the YouTube channel that allows individuals to actually watch these meetings and to be able to keep track of it, and then can always send us comments and their concerns after the meeting if that's something that they desire to do. Thank you for that feedback. I appreciate it. I don't see any hands raised from our other board members, so I'll move on to the chair's report. There's a lot going on these days, as many of you know, as it pertains to affordable housing. We are addressing many of the issues that will be discussed later when it comes to not only projects that are getting approved to build more affordable housing, within the comprehensive planning process that the county is evaluating, specifically in two areas. That's in the Balm area, or the RP2 area, as well as the WVR2, which is largely the Waimama area. Much discussion has gone on how affordable housing can be explored and utilized in that particular area, in those particular areas. But in general, we are looking at a variety of ways that we can build the toolbox for developers to partner, or home builders to partner with the county to explore ways that we can build affordable housing. I know the city of Tampa has several affordable housing projects in the queue. While seems like it takes forever to get more inventory, there are projects that are in the queue, and there are projects that are about to move forward, specifically the one that's up in the university area. They're moving forward on that project as well. The other thing that's important to recognize is, we have some legislative issues that aren't necessarily local, but it does impact the stability of families that are interested in actually staying in their homes. Last week, there was another extension to the eviction moratorium by the CDC and supported by, it's my understanding, by the Biden administration. There is some concerns that there may be a legal challenge to that would short circuit that ability to stay in place through, until October. It's been clearly made that will be the last extension. And so one of the things that I have worked on very closely with our social services, our legal department, with our judicial system, and looking for ways that we can make sure that we are seeing the emergency resources for helping stabilize those in their homes, given that there's a shortfall of affordable housing in our community, whether it's naturally occurring or of truly designated federally affordable housing. It's critically important that we actually make progress there in addressing those that we want to keep stable, because it's so difficult to relocate them somewhere else should they experience the need to leave due to increased rates or evictions. And so finding another place for people to go, especially if they have an eviction on their record, is very, very difficult. We have seen, and I did get an updated report from Audrey Ziegler, who helps manage our emergency, or actually is the lead, as my understanding, on the emergency rental assistance program, because I wanted to find out exactly how are we helping families stay where they are. It's not affordable housing per se, but it's keeping people in their homes so they don't need to find another location and don't experience eviction if we can avoid it. So those, in phase one of the first phase of emergency rental assistance, we dispersed $2,890,000 to assist 1,629 households. Phase two, which was from August 3rd to October 15th, we dispersed $31,926,862 and to assist 5,235 families. On phase three, which is where we currently are, which began March 23rd of 2020, today we are obligated to pay the rental assistance of $17,013,902 to assist 5,174 applications or families. One of the other things that we're seeing is, there's been a slowdown in the applications because people do not realize they could still come and be eligible for the program. Because currently we have 12 months worth of rental assistance available to citizens that are in a difficult situation and under a certain income amount. And then if they're in a situation where it does appear as though this is not going to turn around tomorrow, and we're able to actually prepay the next 3 months to get us through this most recent surge that we're seeing as it pertains to COVID, that is hurting families and making it difficult for them to actually earn what they previously had earned without putting their families at risk. So it's critically important that we recognize and make sure the public knows you may have applied before, but you may still be eligible because the amount that we've been able to distribute has increased over time. So I think it's important for people to know that. The other thing that we're working on, and I met with the court last week to try and address the fact that we have approximately in there, over 200,000 individuals that may be eligible for rental assistance, where they may not have actually been able to get their landlord to provide the information or to help them move in a positive direction to get their rent paid. And that may not be all of them, but we do have over 200 families that are in some stage of the eviction process. And with that, they aren't able to represent themselves or be party to the equation if their back rent isn't paid to the registry. So we had a great conversation on Thursday to explore ways that we can assist those that are eligible for the rental assistance program to have them become as close to current in that registry account so that they can move forward and actually have a productive legal process to allow them to stay in their home if that's an option, given their circumstance. So game changer for being able to allow individuals that just have difficulty with the process and may not have the resources in hand. This way, we know for a fact that not only are they able to have their back rent paid, but they're also able to possibly go through the process of staying where they are through the eviction process, and that's huge. That's very important. We do have a report later by staff to give us the information on the eviction and foreclosures, but I wanted to make sure you know that we are working very hard to try and explore ways to do that. With that, I put in another $1 million in the Hope Trust for additional affordable housing with the support of the board during our budget meeting a couple weeks ago in order to supplement our affordable housing dollars for those dollars under the HOPE program so that we are able to add additional resources for affordable housing development locally. And also, I got approval by the board for a eviction mediation mitigation strategy of $500,000 to help facilitate supporting those individuals or those methods that we can work with individuals to help them avoid getting evicted or with placement when they've already gone through the process. So that's my chair's report. Ms. Burton, you're recognized.
I just want to shout, really, because that is a tremendous game changer. For people to be facing eviction and don't have the money and just waiting for that knock on the door, knowing that money is going to be put, in place so they can at least get to the court or get through other programs and processes to see how they can get stabilized. I just really want to thank you publicly, your staff, anybody who has worked on this, because that is a big move. As to why a lot of people don't still know or don't think the process is still available to them, that's something all of us could work on. We should utilize as much as media that we possibly can to make sure that that money is just not stagnant. I know that's one of the biggest criticism that was coming out of Washington with the protests. We saw some Congress people doing a week or so ago. And then lastly, I can say that only the county can speak for the county and the city can speak for the city. The city do not even have a housing director. It's if that this is not a sense of emergency, and this is me speaking, right? And so while we see a lot of dumping of either homeless people or people that is trying to find some type of housing, it is happening at the county level. Because there's not an affordable housing program in the city. I am so sick and tired of hearing about the wheels of government, how slow it moves. Because all of these people, and when I say these people, I'm talking about our elected body, they have a place to groom themselves properly every morning to carry on their day. and for them not to move with great, speed, to not start dealing with this issue is almost, it ain't no almost, it's beyond disgusting. So I want to thank you for your leadership and your team leadership for seeing beyond the humanity and saying that this is what has to be done under the leadership of people and trusting that our body is going to do the right thing. It's heartbreaking to see families living in just unsafe situations, horror stories of people's daughters are being touched because they got to live in households where they know they're not safe, but they just got to have somewhere to stay. And everything is filled to capacity in the city. So again, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Burton. I appreciate that. It takes a team. And we have an amazing, not only the social services department that's working very hard on this, but we do have a very good affordable housing department and that is working tirelessly to address this issue. Ms. Abel, you were recognized.
Is this on?
Uh,
Does it sound good?
If
Okay.
the button in front of you is green, it's on.
Not green, it's red.
Oh.
But anyway, for the R3 rental assistance program, it
Can
sounds.
you, 1 second?
It's red. Okay. Bright red? No, there's no light now. It's all right. Just get a little closer. Oh, okay. So for the R3 rental assistance program, it sounds like about 12,000 families have been helped. And I was just wondering, how much percentage-wise of the funds have been spent, and how much is still available for people in need?
I don't have the answer to that question off the top of my head, but we may be able to double check with the department and get back to you on that. I know that there is still funds available. And to address, Ms. Burton, and your question, I have to say that I'm very proud of Hillsborough County. We're getting the money out there. Honestly, in my opinion, I believe that Hillsborough County has been the most efficient county that I know of in terms of actively working on getting those dollars out the door as quickly as possible for those that are eligible for the program. I'm very, very happy to learn that I'm getting emails from organizations that support counties in getting the ERAP dollars out the door, and weeks and weeks and weeks after we've already got our program up and running. So and we do it so well that we do partner with the city to manage their allocation, to make sure that we're utilizing every opportunity to get as much out there as possible and to coordinate and make sure it goes, where it's supposed to go. So not only are we doing it rapidly, but we're also doing it as responsibly, I think, as possible. So I'm very pleased that we're there, but I unfortunately cannot answer your question at the moment. So.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair, can I be recognized?
Mark, can you hold on 1 second, since we've got Councilman Good on the line, and he's going to have to unmute himself, so go ahead.
Well, good morning, Madam Chair, and the rest of the board. I heard some of Ms. Connie Burton's comments, and she's correct on a bunch of fronts. We don't have a current housing director, and I've been talking to the mayor about that because, housing is critical in this city, and we have to have somebody to push these programs out. As you know, I've made statements in the paper and to other shows that we don't have enough people in our housing department to push a lot of these programs out. That's another issue that we're trying to work on. Hopefully, with the mayor's budget, some of the things I'm looking at and some more questions I'll have before the budget hearings to try to get allocated more FTEs to get more people in that housing department. I can say that the county and the city have been working with trying to get some of these funds out because we don't have the manpower that the county has to do a lot of these programs. So it's a working process. I yell about it every day. I fight about it every day because I understand there are issues and needs. I've given met with several development teams, or some ways that the developers can help us with affordable housing. And you have to be careful of the word affordable housing because there are all variations of affordable housing. But I have talked to several developers, and I've given that information to our growth manager and our economic development officer on several different points that they say that can help us with affordable housing when you talk about maybe possibly tax abatement and a lot of other issues that we could probably do to help offset some of their cost factors. So the city council members are working as best we can, but as you know, there are two forms of government in the city, and we have what they call a supposedly strong form of mayoral government. So I can't tell employees what to do. I can ask, and hopefully when I make motions, unless they're not legislative or ordinances, it's very hard sometimes to push the needle when you're dealing with the other side of the coin. But again, I'm working every day to push that needle on affordable housing and at the mayor's office with her folks over there in that particular office. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Councilman Good. Thank you. Mr. Rosenwasser, you're recognized.
As a follow-up to Ms. Burton's comments, not only has Affordable Housing Department done an outstanding job, but Social Services, who's responsible for taking care of the applications and dispersing the funds, has reached out, I know, to many real estate brokers who manage single-family or smaller properties, as well as the large management companies to assist. We've opened up our doors and have people come in and do a presentation as to how easy it is and what the requirements are. So the county is doing a phenomenal job, and I could tell you, having communities throughout the state, that Orange County is a close second, but doesn't hold a candle to Hillsborough County.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And, you know, I am still waiting on a status, and maybe Councilman Goods can follow up on this after the meeting. But, you know, we've reached out to all the cities to ask them to review our tenant bill of rights in order to make sure that individuals are not discriminated for source of income, so that our housing vouchers, whether they're veterans housing vouchers or, you know, HUD Tampa housing vouchers, so that those dollars can be utilized to help people stabilize and get into a home. I've not yet heard back from in all three of the municipalities, but currently that ordinance is protecting our tenants in Hillsborough County, unincorporated Hillsborough County. And I'm hoping that we can move forward in partnership with the cities in order to allow for those properties inside those cities, which oftentimes are an area where transit exists, have the same, those residents have the same protections. So hopefully we'll get an update on that maybe the next meeting to find out where they are. With that, seeing...
Madam Chair?
Yes, sir. Councilman
I
Goods,
did
you're
make that
recognized.
motion. I did make that motion a while ago. I know legal has that information. They're working with your legal team. I think your ordinance is just being put in place, and they want to kind of see how that's working before they come back to council with something. But we have put that on the table.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing it adopted by the city. Thank you for that update. I appreciate it. Seeing no other hands raised,
Yes, Madam Chair, Commissioner Myers.
Commissioner Myers, you're
I have my
recognized.
hand up.
Sure.
Thank you. And good morning, board members. I'd just like to share with us on Saturday, Audrey Sigler, Director of the County Social Services. She was on WTMP talking about the R3 program and how the program can help the tenants and the landlord. So what I would suggest, Madam Chair, if we ask Audrey to come to our next month's meeting and give us a report on the R3 program, just where we are, how much funding is remaining, how much funding been expended. She can give us all that. She gave it out on Saturday on WTMP and asking the community how they can get involved, those tenants that need assistance. She and her staff is available to help them, and I think that will help. She manages the city and county's program. Thank you so much, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Myers. I appreciate that. She also is going to be on WMNF's noontime show, speaking about that too. So we're trying to get the information out there where we can through the use of various different mediums, and radio is a great way to get that information out to our citizens. So I look forward to that report as well. The next item on the agenda, seeing no other hands, Commissioner Myers, your hand's still up. Are you good? I can't hear you. You're muted. Mr. Myers, you're muted.
I'm good. I'm trying to get my hand down now.
Okay. I know we hear that all the time. I can't hear you. You're muted. Turn or mute your mic. All those wonderful things that we're learning, the new terms of technology, right? Thanks so much. Your hand is back up, but I'll assume it's in the process of trying to figure out how to go down. The next item on the agenda is actually the director's report, and I think Michelle Boone is going to cover for today. Oh, I'm
Yes.
sorry. Thank
And
you.
I am here. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Yes, great. Thank you. On behalf of Cheryl Howell, who is on a well-deserved vacation this week, I will hopefully address the information in the director's report. Starting with the eviction and foreclosures, I know we discussed a lot of that earlier today. I do want to also, in addition to the R3 program that Audrey Ziegler's group is doing, the Affordable Housing Office is also working with 4 organizations and has approximately $3.7 million out for rental assistance as well as mortgage assistance to help those that may be facing foreclosure. So we want to make it known that we've already spent about $1.5 million for rental and mortgage assistance and have another almost $2 million that is going to come before the board and focus more on the mortgage assistance to help those that are in home ownership crisis status. Let's see.
Michelle,
You-
that's
in your-
terrific. I want to correct what I said earlier while you're talking about Ms. Ziegler's report. She will actually be at 10 a.m. on WMNF. It's not at 12, so thank you. But go right ahead. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Oh, no, that's fine. So if there are any questions on those programs, we have 4 agencies. Catholic Charities is one of those. REACH, East Tampa Business, no, I'm sorry, Housing and Education Alliance, and the Greater Palm River CDC will be assisting with mortgage and some rental assistance, although we are proposing that if you need rental assistance to go to the R3 program first, as our rental assistance only covers 3 months and up to $7,500. In your packets, you will see the recently approved Board of County Commissioners items. On that list, we are proud to announce that the Uptown Sky project is on its way with $5.82 million of county and SHIP funding. So we are very proud to launch that with all the hard work that everyone has done on that. It's been a process, but yay, Sarah, we appreciate that. 61 units will be coming online in the next year. So we're very proud of that and our partnership with Sarah and Blue Sky. Also on that list is you'll see La Estancia. If you're not familiar with that property, it's an 84-unit farm worker housing project down in Waimama area. It changed ownership and is going to get a full remodel, which is why we had funding in it from 15 years or so ago. So we still have those loans on the books. So we subordinate to their new funding so that they are able to improve those units for the farm workers down in Waimama area. Let's see. Also on the August, it may not be in your packet, but I just want to say that on the August 4th agenda, we were able to pass our action plan and 5-year consolidated plan through the BOCC.
Right.
In addition to that, we have a NERSA plan, neighborhood revitalization strategy areas. We have our limited English proficiency plan, our Section 3 plan, and our substantial amendment. It's a lot of information and a very large document. However, if you're interested in reading through some of those, we encourage you to do so. The information is also on our website if anyone from the public is interested in reading those documents. Then it does include the upcoming CDBG and home projects for the next year. So again, we thank staff for all the hard work on that and all of those documents that will be presented to HUD by August 14th for their review and approval. Let's see. Additionally, in your packet are the staff reports. If there are any questions on those, please feel free to let me know. Local grant updates. We have not received any information on our home ARP grant as of yet, but we do anticipate receiving additional funding. It's geared towards homeless prevention as well as COVID-related issues. So we'll be working with HUD on developing a program for approximately $10 million. So we look forward to that as well. And let's see what else. The newsletter that's attached to your report is it focuses on the new All People's Playground. It's a gorgeous facility. The playground is adapted to handicap children, anyone that wishes to see that. It's a great project. We utilize $500,000 in CDBG money to help create that playground on the updates to that facility. So we're very proud of that, and that is in your monthly newsletter. If there is any questions that I can answer, I'll be happy to do so.
Okay, thank you very much for that report. For those of you that haven't been out to the All People's Life Center, I was fortunate enough to participate in the ribbon cutting to launch that playground, which is an inclusive playground for all people that are those with disabilities and all abilities. It's fabulous. It is absolutely a fabulous park. So I think there's a great opportunity for our community to celebrate how we've utilized that fund in supporting families in that community. Couple of other updates. I did just get a message indicating that there is approximately $20 million left in the funds for rental assistance, to answer your question, Ms. Sable. And there is about 35% of the expenditures so far have been paid for eligible City of Tampa residents. So we're moving that money along and doing what we can to actually make sure it's utilized well. The other thing that I wanted to bring to your attention under future business is I was recently contacted by the Department of Health through Dr. Holt to explore the nexus between public health and affordable housing. Those of us that live and breathe this are very aware of that connection, but we were looking for ways that not only will allow us to understand and focus on the things we need to do in order to improve public health, but recognizing that without affordable housing, without a safe shelter, without those things, it becomes a health crisis for many families and many individuals. But we need the data, and that will help us in developing policies that where government can partner with private enterprise and with communities in order to address the health condition of individuals that are in crisis when it comes to housing, whether it be being able to afford it because their budgets can't do it and the stress associated with it, or whether they actually are in transition and unable to find a place to live. So as that project moves forward, I will bring opportunities for either our board members or citizens to participate in that conversation. It's literally just happened last week, so it has not necessarily been formalized at this point, but I'm looking forward to seeing that work being done here in Hillsborough County. It works very much in concert with the county's effort to address equity and inequities in our community through the equity profile work that just launched last month. So actually this month, we are moving forward in looking at ways that we stabilize not only our communities, but our economy as we do so. So I'm very proud to see that. I see Elizabeth Strom is here and has her hand up for a comment or question.
First comment, just I'm glad to hear that you're working with Dr. Holt on public health and housing issues, and there's a ton of research about that, really interesting research that could be very effective in making the point. So please let me know if there's any way I can help, since I have been reading that stuff and working with it for quite a while. But I also just wanted to, sorry, we keep going back to some of the emergency rental programs, but it seems like such a crucial issue. So I just wanted to clarify, I know that there's the R1, 2, and 3 through Hillsborough County. And then Ms. Boone mentioned also some money that's going out for foreclosure and rental assistance through these nonprofits. And then I also know there's a state program, I think it's called Our Florida or something like that. And so I'm just wondering how we coordinate those. I'm thinking if I'm a tenant or a homeowner who is having issues of vulnerability, I might be a little overwhelmed trying to figure out where exactly I send my application. And so I'm wondering how we make those pieces fit together so it's transparent to those who need to use the programs.
Very good question. Much of the information should be on our social services site under affordable housing, on housing programs. I don't know exactly the name of the title of that. Michelle, can you help me, the name of the page that goes through all those programs?
I'll have to look that up. It does have a name, but if you search for R3 or rental assistance, it'll bring up that page.
Okay. And is information on that page also regarding any mortgage assistance programs, whether we manage them or not?
Funny thing, we cannot put direct website assistance for external agencies. So we do have information and flyers on the agencies that we are working with, Catholic Charities, HEA, and REACH. They also have information on their websites that we refer people to. They also have housing counseling agents that work with them, that if clients are having difficulty uploading documents or figuring out if this is the right program for them, they are there to assist them and answer questions. And if they can't answer them, they refer them back to us. And then we can answer them and help anyone that needs help with documents or if the right program that will fit them.
So are we permitted to actually say, if you're looking for these programs, even though we don't manage them, we can put links on that page to refer them to their websites regarding the information?
Yes, we have flyers that we can send out, and we do send out to the public and make those available. If we can provide those to you if you want to then share those as well.
Excellent, excellent.
And just to clarify with the state rental assistance program, I understand they have slightly different eligibility guidelines. So how would I know as a tenant whether I should be applying to the county or the state, or should I be applying to both, and where would I get that information?
I don't know that there's one source of information for that. The county is encouraging any rental assistance clients to go through the R3 program, and for mortgage assistance to come through our other agencies. As far as the state program, from what I understand, the state program was focusing on the landlords that had tax credit. They were tax credit properties, and they were working directly with the landlords for everyone that needed the assistance directly through them. So there are different sources of information out there. I don't know that there's really one place to say who should I apply to, but my suggestion would be to talk with your landlord, and then if they're not willing to assist, then they can contact our office and we can guide them.
Excellent. That's frequently what we have to have done. Thank you, Dr. Strom, for your questions. And where we can get some information and send it out to our board members, I think that would be very advantageous to make sure that they have the tools, because frequently, as the Affordable Housing Advisory Board, even though it really falls under our safety net programs, we do get a lot of questions in this regard. So we'll make sure we get that information out to you. Ms. Combs, you're recognized. Ms. Combs, you're muted still. There, oh, almost, there you go.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much. I wanted to make sure that everyone on the board, as well as anyone that's listening, is aware of the program that we launched. We launched an eviction defense program. We started on this about 6 months ago. We knew that the wave was coming. We worked with we're working with Bay Area Legal Services and United Way. We've hired on a navigator to be able to have direct contact with any residents in the community who have received any legal notices of eviction, and we're trying to push the word out into the community, into the university area community specifically. That's the area that we're targeting. And it's as easy as reaching out to us and letting us know that you have received some sort of notification from your landlord, and then we will put you in touch with Bay Area Legal Services to get you the legal advice that you need. It's also important to know that the moratorium was lifted on July 31st, but the CDC did issue a new order that prevents renters in communities that are experiencing a high level of community transition of COVID, which we are one of them, from being evicted for non-payment of rent, and that goes for another 2 months. So that goes until October 3rd. So again, the easiest thing to do, if you get any form, any documentation from your landlord, any notice, anything, the first thing you need to do is reach out to us. We'll put you in touch with a lawyer because there's some certain things that have to be filed right away in order for protections. And the goal of our program is to keep those residents in the home. So we work with landlords. We have unrestricted funding that we're able to pull from to pay some of that back rent if they don't qualify for the programs that the county is offering. But again, we just want to push that word out into the communities. We've been already able to help a lot of different residents in our community, and that's the whole purpose of the program. So again, just reach out to us and we'll get you the help that you need and make sure that that is exactly, the place to start. So just wanted to share that information, eviction defense program, and you can reach out to our offices.
That's terrific. Thank you very much, Director Combs. That is super good news. Because there are some restrictions on the monies that the county distributes through the ERAP program, and oftentimes they get to the place where eviction's been filed, but there still is a need to solve the problem. So I appreciate that, and I'd love to talk with you about what we discovered last week as far as the eviction's concerned and those things. So we'll wrap around with that to get our staffs together so that there's some coordination there. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Director Neves, you're recognized.
Good morning, thank you. Ms. Combs, I just want to clarify that for that amazing program that you've put together, that it's not restricted to only university area residents. It's open to anyone, but you're just targeting because that's your focus area.
That's correct.
Okay. And then Councilman Overman, Commissioner Overman, I have a question about we had talked about this probably a year or two ago, how if someone's having a problem with housing or if they're looking for assistance in any way with housing, the only way for them to get in touch with the county or to try to get more information is to call 211. Is that still the case?
No, not at all. The Social Services Department has a phone number for contacting that, and working through that level. Natasha, can you look up that phone number for me so we make sure that we say that out loud? But on the page that regarding housing assistance or rental assistance is the phone number you call. And there's additional information there for all of our programs, but there is a phone number you can call. If you do call 211, frequently you'll get referred back to that number. So if we could get that number so we can make sure we say it out loud, that would be great. I don't know it off the top of my head. But it's a good point that it's important to get this information out there. There is, yes, if you call 211, you will get referred to the Social Services Department. We want to make sure that the Crisis Center, which is the 211 number, our provider in our area, has the information regarding Ms. Combs' program that she just described as well, so that we can address that issue and pull all those strings together and make sure the safety net's whole. Natasha?
Yes, so, excuse me, the department number for rental assistance is going to be 813-671-7647. And then, of course, they have the ERAP line as well. Do you want me to give that one as well? Okay.
Yes, please.
Sure.
The ERAP Center call center, I just found that, is 866-375-9114. Oops, I lost my notice. And that call center is open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Monday through Friday. There's also, you're able to call the same number and elect to hear it in Spanish in the event that Spanish is your primary language. But they are open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, and to answer questions as it relates to programs that are available through both federal and the state and county programs. So is that helpful?
Clarify what the ERAB is.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's for the emergency rental application portal, so you can go there to apply for the emergency rental and housing assistance. And anyone that needs to do an application online, they can visit r3.hcflgov.net.
Excellent.
So it sounds like both of these are for renters. Is there anything available for homeowners? Or would they just need to call the 211 number?
So the information for the homeowners is through our program. So they can contact our office, or we're working on putting links on our website to the agencies that have the mortgage assistance. We're working on that. We'll just say that. But that's through affordable housing directly, not through Audrey's group.
Right, right.
If anyone needs to reach Affordable Housing Services, you can call 813-246-3150, or you can call 813-612-5397.
Excellent. Does that answer your questions, Ms. Neves?
Thank you. I just want to make sure that we, get that information out there for anybody who's watching, and then for me to be aware of the most recent information so that I can share it if anybody reaches out to me.
Excellent. Thank you very much for the questions. Getting more information out there never hurts. Ms. Combs, you still have your hand raised. Did you have another comment or question? And you're still muted. No? Okay, I can't see her, so I'm unable to see.
No, ma'am, I'll take it down.
Okay, great, thank you. I'm not seeing any other hands raised, and I believe we've covered all of our items today, including the future business items. And I just...
One other future business item, I'm sorry, Commissioner.
Go right ahead.
Just to make sure that the Community Land Trust will be presented, that information will be presented at the next AHAB meeting in case anyone is interested in the land trust information. So
excellent.
We're working on that in the background, yes.
Excellent. I'm glad to see that's coming forward at our next meeting, which is September 13th, 2021 at 9 a.m. And we will see you then, and look forward to sharing this information in our community so that those that are in need of assistance or looking for affordable housing, is able to find those resources to do well. I encourage everyone to be safe. We are in a situation right now where the Delta variant is causing some great concerns in our communities, and school starting this week. So, mask up and be safe. And if you're not vaccinated, please go get one so that we're able to get a handle on this virus that is actually disrupting our economies and our lives. So thank you very much. Meeting adjourned.